I said everything gonna be alright. I said everything will be alright.
Everything's going to be all right. Good day, wherever you're listening from, and welcome to Indoor Air Quality Radio, IAQ Radio, for Friday, June 10th, 2016. This week is episode 417. My name is Radio Joe Hughes. I'm coming to you live from Canton, Ohio, and the Violand Executive Summit. The Z-Man Cliff Zlotnick is here with me in Canton, and our engineer, John, you got to have faith, is back in the studio in Pennsylvania. This week we're going to interview the young guns, up-and-coming restoration contractors here at the Violand Executive Summit. But before we do, we can't do the show without our sponsors. We're going to stop and thank our marquee sponsors.
John Don Products, where restoration and abatement contractors shop. Visit them at their website, jondon.com. That's jondon.com.
CleanFacts, the #1 information source for cleaning and restoration professionals. Check them out at cleanfactswithanx.com.
IAQ.net and Healthy Indoors Magazine, a free online digital magazine for industry professionals and consumers. Subscriptions are available at IAQ.net.
And Particles Plus. They are engineers and manufacturers of feature-rich particle counters, air quality monitoring instrumentation, and vacuum pump technology. ParticlesPlus.com. Count on us.
Please be sure to thank our sponsors for their support of IAQ Radio when you inquire about their services and products.
All right, we are back here at the Violand Executive Summit, and the Z-Man has now joined me. You want to say hello to the gang, Cliff?
Hey, Joe. Hello, everybody.
All right. You want to start things out today?
Well, I got the trivia question first.
Oh, that's right. Let's turn it over to the Z-Man for today's IAQ Radio trivia question.
Win a cool prize by outcompeting fellow IAQ Radio listeners and being the first person to correctly answer the IAQ Radio trivia question each week. Submitting your answer is easy. Either email it to czlotnick@cs.com, or if you're listening to the show live, you can text in your answer. Congratulations. Doug Conan, Aerotech Environmental, Dayton, Ohio, for his last-minute correct answer to last week's IAQ Radio trivia question. The IAQ Radio trivia question for Friday, June 10, 2016, has been sponsored by Ideas, the solution chemistry company, creating unique solutions to odor removal, surface cleaning, and decontamination problems. Now for this week's IAQ Radio trivia question. Name the political reform movement in the early 20th century which favored replacement of the Ottoman Empire's absolute monarchy with a constitutional government. Back to you, Joe.
All right, thank you, Cliff. Hey, I think, John, we've got some music for this week's show. John, I think we're back, and we've got with us Chuck Violand. He's the man, he's the maestro that's organizing this entire event. And I wanted to mention this is the 11th Violand Executive Summit. And I want to quickly, you want to go with the executive training? What is executive training, Chuck?
Oh, executive training is a lot different than technical training in the sense that it isn't something that you can sit in a class for 1 day or 2 days and expect to walk out completely trained. It's something that you start in a day or 2 days, and then you continue to develop as you practice it in the field and practice it in the field. It's a lifelong learning. That's how it works.
So what are some of the things that people who are attending here learning to do?
But when we developed the summit, it was developed to develop the leadership and the management skills of business owners in the restoration industry. So rather than, again, looking at the technical elements of a business, although we do some of that with accounting and selling, but typically it's with leadership. It's better understanding of ourselves, how we relate to other people, how we manage our own emotions, kind of along the line of emotional intelligence. Holly was on the program several years ago.
Right.
And so it's becoming better leaders of our businesses.
What would some of the courses that people have the opportunity to take here, what would they be? Because I know we have the core courses that people take and they get their certificate, and then we have well, why don't you explain how that works?
Well, we have core courses that you have to take in order to graduate from the Executive Summit. And you have to have 8 of them completed, and then you receive a diploma jointly from Kent State University and Violand Management. In addition to that, there are also electives that you can take. And some of the courses this year are Jim Bagnola's course on Lead from the Inside Out, which has to do with your health and your mental health, your physical health, and how that impacts the way that you lead the people in your organization. Simple comments that we make. We may not realize the impact that it has on the people around us. Amy Shannon is doing one on coaching, and that has to do with helping the owners or managers in businesses coach the people underneath them who report to them so that they can perform better in them.
Okay. Along with those, we have a bunch of electives, and what would an elective be?
Well, both of those were elected.
Okay.
Another elective is one that Tim Kraft is doing, and that's on communication. Better understanding all the different elements of communication, whether it's electronic or whether it's verbal or nonverbal, and how that impacts our ability to grow our business. One of the things that we've found with businesses of all levels, particularly small businesses, is that once you exceed the technical requirements of doing the work that you do, the thing that's going to determine the size of your business, where you can scale it, has to do with your ability to lead the people in it, beyond your own skill set. And so that's really what we're addressing here.
All right. You want to move on to the young guns here?
I think so. I think, Joe,
Right.
What are some adjectives for what these people do?
Well, I'm not sure. I know we've got the young guns here, and I think our first young gun is going to be.
Well, no, I think that, when we talk about young guns, I think these are people that show signs of advancement, and, it's kind of like the cream of the crop. It's people that are rising to the crop, so people that are ambitious are making really good progress.
Yeah, they're ambitious people. They're making good progress. They're, the up and coming crowd as
I think show signs of.
Chuck, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, if I can just make a comment on it very quickly before I have to leave. One of the things that we're looking at doing within RIA is succession, and looking at the next generation of leaders within the association as well as within the industry.
Okay.
And so we have a couple of different initiatives going within there with young professional restorers. Many of these people are in that group. This is the future of the industry right here in this room. That's pretty thrilling. So
Future.
We never had it before, and I think it's important.
Oh, I agree with that. Absolutely.
You never had a young restorers group before at RIA?
I don't think that you've had it anywhere else in the industry.
Anywhere in the industry.
And what happens is there's talent, and the industry's growing, and they want to participate. They don't necessarily know how to participate. Probably in some organizations, they might be locked out of participation.
Exactly.
And
That's exactly right.
In this one, I think they're recognized. I think they have the opportunity, and a bunch of smiling faces, and they're pretty bright. We look at our kids and what they're able to achieve.
Oh, yeah.
And
and a whole lot of energy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think there's too many gray hairs either.
No, and some of us have gray hairs, and you get tired after a while, too.
Young Turks movement, I got a text. All right, well, let's bring our first young Turk in here, Zach Reitz. Zach is a member of a well-known family in the industry. He runs Champion Cleaning Services in Sharpsburg, Virginia. And I think some know his father, Jeremy, pretty well. I think Jeremy's been on the show in the past, maybe. No, not. We'll have to get him in one of these days. Zach, welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
I'm going to make a few corrections.
All right,
for
please.
Georgia, and the one thing that I get all the time is that Jeremy's my father, however, he's my brother.
He's your brother.
Right,
Okay.
you made that.
Wow. I didn't know that. Okay. So you're the younger brother, huh?
Yeah, a little bit younger.
Quite a bit younger.
Much younger.
There's about 13 years between us.
Okay, well, I've got 10 between me and my youngest brother, but that's all right. Sometimes people think I'm the younger brother. Not really.
We're not going to say that was a mistake. It's just that something that happened, you know?
That's right.
All right, so your parents are, and your older brother, I see now, are well known in the cleaning and restoration business. Your surname comes along with big expectations. How are you making an impact in the business and your own name in the industry? You know, how do you break away from that big brother name?
Well, that's a tough question. I thought about that for a little while, and, you know, it's not an easy thing to answer. I think the thing that I've come away with after looking at it is youth is what I bring to the table. And with youth comes a lack of life experience, but with youth comes a different way of doing things, new ideas. You know, I think as a younger person, your technicians, the people out there doing your work are younger people for the most part, so I can relate to them much easier, and I think that helps. Also, you know, with the younger ideas, you know, getting the internet going as a real strong part of your business, developing relationships, you know, just trying to use youth on your side as opposed to being a negative thing. And events like this, I don't think that the people that did this years ago, the predecessors, had these types of events where they could come at a younger age when they were starting their businesses and learn the quality, core things that we're learning here. And so because of that, I feel like the group of young restorers out there, they've got some pretty awesome opportunities in front of them.
Okay, first of all, I want to be perfectly clear. This is not a job interview. Okay, so because I've been clear, how old are you?
29.
29.
All right.
So you married, family?
I'm married with 2 little boys.
Very good. Good for you.
You mentioned the internet. When you say the internet, for me, it's, you know, email, and I understand I'm a dinosaur because I still do email. Do you tweet and all that other stuff, or you're not there yet either?
I'm probably a little bit, for my age group, I'm probably a little bit socially media behind. That's not always been my strong. I really didn't get it. I don't enjoy that as much as most of my peers do, but I'm getting into that. And for me, when I think of the internet, too, one of the big things is not just having printed word, but having video, having interactive stuff. Something that's going to draw people in.
Yeah, it's got to be a combination of things, as I understand it. We're getting a little better at it, at least here on the IAQ Radio. Well, thanks for joining us. It's much appreciated. And Jeremy, we will hopefully see you soon. And I'm sorry, Zach.
I'm used to it.
I'm all shook up, Zach. You see, I had technical difficulties, and they tend to shake me up. So thank you, Zach. We appreciate you having us. All right.
I guess
why don't you do that?
Josh Tubero, Alliance Disaster Kleenup in Wheeling, Illinois.
There's a Wheeling, Illinois, huh? All right. I'm used to Wheeling, West Virginia. Welcome, Josh.
Wheeling, Illinois, too, right? Yeah. And the Chicago, Illinois, right?
That's possible.
All of that. Okay. We understand that you and your brother, Justin, couldn't be any more different. And you work together, you get together exceptionally well, and you run an extremely efficient and well-respected company, which was recently rated as one of the top 100 companies to work for in the state. What are the primary differences in you and your brother's personality and management styles, and what advice can you give listeners for siblings working together as partners in a family business?
I think that's a great question. A lot of times we do get asked that question quite often, actually, and I think that what makes our partnership really work and efficiently is the level of respect that we have for each other. So I think that for any relationship or partnership to work, respect has to be a foundational component. As well, we have very differing skill sets, so it allows us to really work together, listen to each other, and respect each other's experience. Justin happens to really be a very high-level big thinker, matched with a high level of enthusiasm, so he typically handles sales and marketing. I really prefer the details of the business and the operation, so I'm more internal, and the fact of the matter is that when we speak or converse with each other or meet with each other and try to complete strategic planning, we just really do listen to each other and respect each other's contributions.
Well, I can see why you're successful, because I think the big thinker always needs a detail guy.
Right.
There's absolutely no doubt about it, because without the details, it doesn't get done and the projects don't get finished. So.
That's true. But I think that, the most important thing is just respectful communication and patience with each other, and not allowing the challenges within the business to compromise the relationship that you really do have as family members, which is something that we both are very much committed to.
One final question. What's the difference in age?
4 years.
4 years. And how old are you?
38.
38. Amazing.
It's on the upper end of the Young Turks.
I've been in the industry for 16 years, and we started the business together 16 years ago.
Were you as restoration or perfect cleaning?
No, it's primarily all restoration. Actually.
All restoration.
Yep.
Okay, and it's not a family thing.
No, we started the business with a credit card that had barely a balance on it, and very small, low credit limits. And built it now in the Chicago market to really be a respected organization.
So now you're telling me you got 2 credit cards.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us.
Josh,
okay.
Thank you.
All right. Next up,
Mitch Karen. Mitch Karen is the acting general manager of his family's large Winmar franchise. He's in Durham, Ontario. Oh, we got a Canadian. All right. Mitch is a rising star in the industry and a leader in both RIA's Young Restorers Council and the Canadian Council. RIA, for those of you that aren't familiar, is the Restoration Industry Association. I don't want the acronym police to come out.
Okay.
Welcome, Mitch. Good to have you here. What piqued your interest and involvement with the Industry Trade Association? That's a big, I don't see a lot of young people participating in industry trade associations. What caused you to get involved?
Well, just to start off, I'd like to thank you, Cliff and Joe, for having me on the radio today, and it's been a great day at the Violand Executive Summit. So for all of you who are listening today, I encourage you to come down next year. But yeah, just to when I was getting involved, I came back to the industry. I grew up, from a young age, 12, 13 years old, being a tech, and started
unpaid child labor. I know all about
child labor.
I know all about that.
My dad always told me, and my mom, they told me they'd pay me down the road.
Right.
I'm still waiting for that paycheck.
I hear you.
But yeah, what spiked my interest is after college, I actually went into another industry similar in the large general contracting field, and I was part of a young construction executive committee, so similar to the YPRC, which I chair up in Canada, and it really inspired me and opened my eyes to see when you get a young group together, and just kind of what Zach was saying earlier about bringing a different perspective and different ideas to the table. We had a lot of social events and stuff like that in Toronto where we would connect and, you'd meet different contractors and consultants, and, you'd give them a call or an email, have a tough question or something, maybe you can't reach out to your boss, or it's quick and easy. A phone call, you pick up, and it's crazy to see the benefits off of, a network, just networking and meeting people. It's
I think that my next question kind of leads into the next question. You've had the opportunity to interact and know people both in the United States and Canada. Are there any notable differences between the restoration business in Canada and the U.S. from what you've heard?
So I'd say the primary differences is we have a higher claim count for maple syrup claims.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm just kidding. All jokes aside.
And hockey stick claims?
And hockey stick claims and all that. No, but all jokes aside, the market where I really see the difference is from the top down. We have a very different insurer market in Canada where a small number of insurers control the market, and that kind of dictates same thing too with contractors. We have a small number of contractors, mostly large banner groups and franchisors that kind of control the same thing. There's mostly all top 5 big contractors, and so we're dealing typically all on program work, and there's not really much selling or anything that we've had to do in the past. It's all been, program and get everything through exact analysis. But as we know in the industry, there's spikes and big drops. So I think we're starting to learn a bit from the American market, how marketing is really important in selling. So we're trying to reach out to other markets like large property managers and municipalities and regional work where, you actually got to go and build a relationship, and like you said, like in the States, you gotta work for your dollar and not just be part of a banner group and buy a franchise and have all the work come in. Yeah, you still have to maintain that relationship and quality work. But again, I think we're starting to see a lot more selling, marketing in Canada, and it's just exciting. And so being able to, meet some of the American groups and young and, the more seasoned professionals, it's good to, be able to reach out to the people, phone call, email, and see what they're doing down here.
Mitch, I have a follow-up. You mentioned going to social events and talking with people and so on, and that oftentimes is done in the evening. Is that accurate? I mean, my son's a contractor, and I try and help out, and sometimes going to that evening event can be a chore. All right, I'll be honest. It's just hard for me to get motivated. How do you get yourself motivated to go out and do more at these evening events? Is it just because of your age, or am I, how do you get motivated?
I think it's a mix of things. I'm personally a pretty high energy person anyway, so I love what I do. I love working. I love the interaction with people. I love meeting people. So and even just seeing the benefits off of, let's say, that first event that I'm off of work at 6, 7 o'clock. You got an 8 o'clock event you don't really want to go to.
Yes.
But you go there and you meet a good contact and you meet some good people, and that's just kind of your motivation going forward, is those relationships that you get to build. And, it's like that opportunity, you didn't go. What's the opportunity that you missed out on, right?
Great point. And I guess once you get yourself out there a couple of times and start to get that feedback in the way of jobs and contacts, it just kind of builds on itself.
Yeah, and even on a social level too. I mean, you're getting out, you're interacting, you're kind of getting outside of that, your comfort level, meeting new people, and just even like Chuck touched on earlier, talking to different personalities, and it's honestly it's like you're training yourself. It's personal development, professional development, right?
Great. Well, thanks so much.
How old are you, Phil?
I'm 25.
All right, congratulations.
Thanks, Les. Thanks, Joe.
Pleasure
to meet you guys.
Great to meet you. All right, next up is Sean Folks, right? Is that the guy?
It is.
Sean's a second-generation guy, another second-generation owner of Guaranteed Restoration. He's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
How do they say it down there? Baton Rouge, right?
Well, that's how people that aren't from there say it.
How do people say that are from there?
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. I had it right. All right, there you go. And he was formerly the largest STOP stock franchise in the country. Sean has taken the company independent and continues to grow the business at an impressive rate. So welcome, Sean. And Cliff, let me turn it over to you.
Thanks. Yeah, welcome. I've known your parents a long time and give them my best regards. Franchise systems are known to provide important support mechanisms. Were you concerned about giving up the support mechanisms when you went independent?
We were concerned about it. That was one of the biggest things that we enjoyed with the franchise, was the network and the support. But once we decided to make the switch, we realized there is a lot of other support systems out there to help us get to where we want to be and keep us in line.
So what's been the biggest change for you going independent?
The biggest change probably has been figuring out how to handle our substantial growth since we've gone independent.
Do you think that the growth was limited when you're in the system, you think, or?
No, I don't think it was limited. I think just kind of the franchise helped us get to a great place.
Gotcha.
And everything just kind of clicked right at the end of the franchise agreement, and it's determined when we went independent, it all just kind of clicked and started happening.
Are you primarily doing water damage restoration, or you do carpet cleaning as well, or a mix of things?
A mix of things. No carpet cleaning, just water, fire, mold, and HVAC cleaning.
Is the mold still a hot topic in Baton Rouge?
Oh, we love it.
Yeah. Now, they require contractor licensing in Baton Rouge in Louisiana for mold remediation. Is that still the case, or they dropped that?
They still have it.
They still have it. Okay. And they still take like a 24-hour training, and then do you still have to get the separate training on pesticide, antimicrobial? Okay. So you have to have that license as well.
That's right.
I think that all happened after Katrina. You had people coming down there sloshing up all kinds of gooey, miracle cures and all that, and Louisiana decided to license things. How do you think that's gone? from your perspective? You know, yeah, in some states I've had, like Florida, I've had terrible lately reports back. New York, it's not real good. What about what they did in Louisiana, the way they did it? Is it going okay from your perspective?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. It keeps a lot of companies on their toes to make sure that they do what they're supposed to do, and it keeps companies from not being able to do the mold remediation that shouldn't be doing it.
Okay. Do they enforce it then? I mean, are they out there looking at jobs, or is it more self-enforced?
It's mostly self-enforced.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
Do
great.
you have other family in business with you, or?
I used to.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Okay.
We've got avenues, but they've all gone different ways. And,
Right.
but yeah, about 10 years ago, we were all in one building, all in one family, 2 sisters, and it was very difficult.
I understand.
And we made the decision. My parents laid out a great plan for all of us, so we all have kind of our own path that we're going down.
Good. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Tom, thanks for joining us on IAQ Radio. It's great to meet you. All right, let's move on. Here's an old friend of the show. Jocelyn Dornfield's here. Cliff, you want to do a little?
Sure. Yeah, Jocelyn's manager at AJ Restoration, who has offices in both the Forest and Madison, Wisconsin. Kent Rawhauser and his wife Lynn own the business. They contribute much of the company's success to her efforts. She also serves on the RIA's Young Restorers Council, and they say she's the brains and the brawn behind something called the Restoring Kindness Movement. And I want you to tell our listeners, what is the Restoring Kindness Movement?
Thanks for having me on the show.
You're welcome.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Well, Restoring Kindness is doing positive or kind things for other people and expecting nothing in return. And it's something that we started last year, and we started last year in our community, and we asked all businesses to participate. So we would put their logo, a link to their website, and we would do email blasts and all kinds of social media blasts saying, you know, this company, this insurance company, these people, they're all committed to restoring kindness. And then for the month of July, everybody really, they come together, they do all kinds of great things in their community.
Is there a website, Restoring Kindness?
Yep, it's restoringkindness.com.
Let me put that in here then, Josh.
Yep, restoringkindness.com.
You got some good video on there, as I understand it.
Yep, there's a couple of them. So we've got Kent on there as the owner of A&J, and he explains the movement and how to participate, and, you know, just encouraging people to participate and do kind things. And then there's a couple other example movies or videos up there of all kinds of stuff that we've done.
Your blooper video. Is the blooper up?
I don't think the blooper's up yet until after the campaign is probably up in August.
I don't know. When did we first meet? I don't know. Was it last year or the year before?
It was last year that you and I met here.
Right. And I just, when she told me the idea, I just thought it was brilliant. And I think that it really has global potential because, you know, I think it puts a smile on everyone's face. The person that's doing the kind gesture and also the recipient.
It does, and it's actually quite addicting. So
in a good way, right?
In a really good way.
Good way. You don't have to go to rehab, do you?
That would be really cool. But yeah, it is quite addicting because once you start, everybody wants to do nice things for other people. But when you really stop and focus on it, there's so much that you can do. I mean, it's as easy as giving up your seat for someone, opening up doors for people, and the surprise on their face it's really fun, and just restoring those kindness gestures back into the community. You really get such a positive reaction, and it's amazing actually how positive it is because you're holding the door for someone and they're just shocked. And it didn't cost me anything. It didn't, you know. And then you have other big things. So what we're planning right now is, so the Salvation Army, the kids in that program are decorating up signs and thank you cards for the police departments in Madison, and we're delivering popsicles to the police departments in July with the cards. And because my brother's he's the chief of police in a neighboring community, and I asked him, what can we do, you know, that what can we do to get everybody, all 3 shifts, everybody, because that's a lot of people. And he said, it's hot in July. It's hot. Get popsicles. So.
Popsicles. All right.
So
and a card, did you say? Like a little thank you card?
Yep. Like,
that's
thank
nice.
you for, serving our community and helping us and protecting us, and thank you for what you do.
Good.
So.
And will they personally hand it to the police officer then and get a little interaction that way as well? Or?
Yeah, so we'll go into the departments and deliver them.
Good.
So if people are around. But the main point of the movement is you're not there to watch everybody and to see what they're going to do. You kind of do your thing, and you leave. We have a postcard, a leave behind, that you have the postcard on there. It says, we're in the business of restoring lives, communities, and now we want to do something nice, and we're restoring kindness. And then on the back it says, well, now it's your turn.
Yeah, it's like tag, you're it.
Yep.
It's like a bucket challenge or something like that. Well, thanks again, Jocelyn. Do we have anything further, Cliff? You want to move? We got to get to halftime. We're a little over on halftime. John, let's thank our sponsors. We'll be back with the second half of our Young Guns of Restoration.
And thanks to our association sponsors, the Indoor Air Quality Association, a nonprofit multidisciplinary organization dedicated to promoting the exchange of indoor environmental information through education and research. Visit them at IAQA.org.
The Restoration and Specialty Cleaners Association, who have been serving the needs of and advocating for their members for over 30 years. Remember, Triska is your link to industry training, certification, standards, and events. Their website is trsca.org. Thanks to our advertisers.
Gray Wolf Sensing Solutions, who use advanced sensor technology and embedded computers to provide superior environmental test instrumentation. Visit them at wolfsense.com.
Legends Environmental Insurance Services, the experts in insurance for environmental consultants and contractors for over 20 years. Visit them at legends-enviro.com, and of course our marquee sponsors. John Don Products, where restoration and abatement contractors shop. Visit them at their website, jondon.com. That's jondon.com.
CleanFacts, the #1 information source for cleaning and restoration professionals. Check them out at cleanfactswithanx.com.
IAQ.net and Healthy Indoors Magazine, a free online digital magazine for industry professionals and consumers. Subscriptions are available at IAQ.net.
And Particles Plus. They are engineers and manufacturers of feature-rich particle counters, air quality monitoring instrumentation, and vacuum pump technology. ParticlesPlus.com. Count on us.
Please be sure to thank our sponsors for their support of IAQ Radio when you inquire about their services and products.
All right, we're back with the second half of our show. We've got the Young Guns of Restoration here at the Violand Executive Summit. Next up is Jarrett Dixon. Jarrett and his wife Whitney founded and have run Master Restoration in Clearwater, Florida since 2008, and they've built an extremely impressive company focused on highly trained employees and dedication to customer service. Welcome, Jarrett. What does Never Stop Improving mean to you?
So Never Stop Improving to me means implementing new technology, working towards a better tomorrow. We want, unless I'm dead or in the grave or retired, we better be continuing to learn and implement. We don't want to conform to the status quo.
Good for you. Well, can you provide some examples of how you've implemented these continuous improvements in the company? Just a couple.
Sure, absolutely. So quick couples would be, you got programs like Reach TV that you're able to use and take back and train your technicians. And then there's courses that you can take here at the summit where you learn about continuing education and training your employees to be a better unified team and working together for better efficiency, overall better service for your end user.
Good. Tell you another one's called IAQ Radio, by the way. 417 hours of restoration, yeah, all for free. It's all archived, so it's all available.
So is Clearwater getting ready for hurricane season? It's about that time, right?
Oh yeah, it's game on. It's season time for us. We got some nice rain earlier this week, and we're looking forward.
So you actually came in, it looks like, just after the last hurricane, or were you part of the 2008? When was the last big one in Florida?
The last big one in Florida was some time ago, maybe '06. We were seeing some. We had Galveston that went through. It kind of affected the Panhandle and went mainly in Texas area.
Okay. And what are they saying for the next couple of years here? Does it look like it'll be a busy hurricane season? Or?
They are saying that there's, with the weather and the conditions, that there's a good possibility this year and the upcoming year.
It'll be coming. Oh, well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your summit here.
Pleasure. All right.
Next up.
Next up, we've got Dayron Rodriguez. All right, this ought to be an interesting one here. Dayron Rodriguez, he's a Cuban immigrant who escaped to this country with nothing, and I mean nothing, and is in the process of building an impressive cleaning and restoration company. He started out with no capital, limited English, and he's now killing it in the Louisville, Kentucky market. You're down in the Muhammad Ali area, huh?
Yeah.
This is an American success story. Dayron owns Rodriguez Cleaning Service. Welcome to IAQ Radio.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Good to have you. Cliff,
You probably couldn't have picked the worst time to come to the United States. You came here during a pretty deep recession. There's a lot of unemployment. I guess, first of all, is America truly the land of opportunity, and why?
Well, I don't know if it's really the land of opportunity if I'm comparing with another countries. At least if I'm looking at Cuba, I'm looking at this country. You got a lot more opportunities because, I just jump into a business without knowing anything or without no money. Just with the desire to work, make some money, have great clients. And I'm doing it, and I couldn't done it in Cuba. They wouldn't let me do it.
Are there disaster restoration companies in Cuba? How does disasters get handled?
First of all, the country's a disaster.
Yeah, when we have a disaster, the government runs everything.
Government runs
They pull people, from whatever you're doing, and you gotta help.
What about
a lot of people help too.
Like a standard water damage? Somebody has a broken water line. They have to take care of it themselves. The neighbors pitch in. How does that work?
Yeah, most of the time you gotta fix it. If not, you go with call your neighbor. He tried to fix it, and usually between neighbors you can fix it.
Okay. Is there any equipment? Do they have dehumidifiers?
Oh no, we don't have
no such thing.
It's a whole different system and process. We don't have air movers. We don't have DUs. We don't have antimicrobial. We don't use that.
How do people dry out a building?
I don't know because I'm pretty young and I didn't deal with that.
You were fortunate before you left. You didn't have to.
Yeah, I really don't know how it is.
So you come here and find a whole new industry.
Yeah.
This didn't exist where you were from. How do you learn about it?
Well, I started working for another company doing some carpet cleaning.
Okay.
And I said, well, I'm going to start my own. And I just trying to learn as much as I could.
Okay.
And I've been, around good people who've been helping me. And I think that's the key, being around good people. There's always someone who will be willing to help you if you ask for help.
And carpet's not big in Cuba either. Is
No,
there
we
any
don't have
carpet?
any.
No
Well,
carpet.
we have some carpet, but it's only in hotels.
Okay. So this was a whole new world for you.
Yeah, it was.
What advice would you have for other immigrants that are in the United States or someone planning to come to the United States?
If they're planning to, and they can, because, we're from different countries, I will tell them to speed up and get here.
Okay.
We got a lot of opportunities. And if they get here and they want to start their own business, go ahead and jump. It won't be easy. It will be hard. But you can make it. At least in Cuba, we're taught that you got to do whatever they want you to do. Here, I do whatever I want to do.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Your story is inspirational.
Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we've got, I believe, Matt Hensley. He is the manager of Total Restoration Services in Indianapolis. Total Restoration is a very fast-growing, extremely well-run company that has several 30 and under sharp individuals at high levels within the organization. Matt serves also on the Young Restorers Group of the Restoration Industry Association, and we believe he will be a leader in this industry for a long time. Matt, welcome. Good to have you.
Indianapolis is a very competitive market. I know that. It's also a very mature market. People have been doing high-level restoration there for years, and leading industry technologies have been born there and kind of come out of there. What's your company doing to separate itself from the competition?
I think first and foremost it would be establishing good relationships. A lot of those companies that you speak about are on program work, and as we've seen, it kind of went away from the relationship aspect, and we try to provide an overall customer experience, whether that be the person who's referring us out or the homeowner that we're doing work in their house. I think another way is that as we continue to grow and get bigger, we provide the same service as a small company. So the little things, communicating, following up, providing them just that top-level service. The last thing is that we're not wanting to do everything, but what we do extremely well. So we're not going to spread ourselves thin, providing okay service. What we do, we're going to do it extremely well.
I guess there's kind of an industry secret. You came to the forces of light from the dark side, right?
Yeah. I started out as an insurance conductor and did that for about 6 years, and then came over to the restoration side, and I absolutely love it.
Huh. And you do you participate at all in the programs or in the insurance programs, or
it's probably less than 3% of our business.
Okay. Yeah. That's a conscious decision. You decided not to get involved with those.
Absolutely.
All right, great. All right. Well, Matt,
worked out well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Another young gun. Great to meet you, Matt.
Appreciate it.
Talk to you soon. All right, next up, Elisa Nietzsche. I believe I got that right. I hope, Elisa. Her and her husband, Grant, own one of the fastest-growing ServPro franchises in the country. They are located in Wheaton, Illinois. They were completely new to restoration when they started out and have figured out the game very quickly. Welcome, Elisa.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Yeah. So your vision is bigger, faster, and stronger. Do you feel that your vision is any way constrained by working within a franchise system?
First of all, that's a great question. But in life, there's always a give and a take. And it holds very true to this question you're asking me. So all in all, we feel that being a ServPro franchise has opened us to opportunities that otherwise we really wouldn't have had. So, no, I don't think it's restrictive because it's really opened more doors for us than it has shut.
Got a question. When I went onto the website, you have, I guess there were 3 different cities that were on there. Did you have one franchise first and get additional territories into the other, or did you have that? Did you start out and move into those other areas and buy additional territories?
Yeah, okay. We started off with one license or one territory, and we've since expanded, and we now have 2 licenses.
Okay, gotcha. Mm-hmm. Good for you.
Thank you.
How many years?
10 years.
And what did you do before this?
Before this, I was in marketing.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's probably a good background.
Yeah, it
does help, marketing's an important part of things. Do you find, as a marketing person, well, maybe I shouldn't ask, I don't know, does ServPro's marketing, did it kind of fit the way you had been taught to do marketing? Is it?
I think that, I must say, ServPro has great marketing, great brand recognition. That's something we think that they do excellent.
Yeah, I think like it never even happened or whatever is probably one of the most memorable slogans in the industry.
Absolutely.
Oh, great. Well, Lisa, thanks for joining us. It's nice to meet you.
For the rest of the summit. Take care.
Next up is Joe Donnelly. Joe owned a successful commercial janitorial company, decided several years ago to expand into the restoration world and specifically the commercial market. He and his wife have spent the last several years building Claria Clean into a restoration leader in the St. Louis market. Joe, welcome. Good to see you again. I met Joe in training class many years back. It seems like 5 or 6 years ago now, huh?
About 2.
Oh, that's all? Okay,
Yeah.
well.
It's all right.
Time doesn't move along as fast for me as I guess for others. I don't know. Joe, welcome.
It's like that roll of toilet paper. The closer you get to the corner, faster it goes, right?
But let me turn it over.
Thanks, Joe. Joe, what made you decide to add restoration to your business?
So we came from building services,
Right.
primarily janitorial and commercial floor care. And then there's a lot of water points and there's a lot of people in commercial buildings. So instead of turning that over to another restoration company, why didn't we just bring that in-house? And becoming a Violand client, they said, you already have the relationships, offer the services. And then doing a lot of ramp-up training and using resources like Joe here and also Violand. It was a lot of hard work, but if our clients knew they could call one individual who already had access to the buildings, we can go in open access, clean it up, and then they never incurred any business interruption if they had a water loss or a fire or smoke job.
Yeah, I noticed when I went onto the website that you seem to have some really good relationships with churches, and there were a couple of interviews, testimonial interviews, and so on and so forth. So do you focus more on commercial than on residential?
Yes. I would say 98% of our business is commercial services.
Okay.
And we do that through all organic marketing. We're not on any program work. So a lot of it is very proactive marketing and then offering them our service that we call our PREP plan. It's a pre-disaster planning kit that we give them so that they know who to call when they do have anything that would cause business interruption.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a company in the Pittsburgh market that has taken this to an incredibly high level. They've actually gone to college campuses. They actually send if they get the contract, they actually send an estimator into the buildings who measures all of the buildings pre-loss. They spend an incredible amount of time in measuring everything so that they've already got the takeoff. So in the event something happens, they're ready to respond to it. Yeah, I was flabbergasted. But
we offer a very similar program. I don't know their program exactly, but that sounds what we're offering to our clients.
Joe, where's the name Claria Clean come from? That's always been interesting to me.
It actually comes from our 2 older daughters, Claire and Olivia.
Ah, cool.
We talked to a trademark lawyer, and they said just come up with a name, and that's how we came up with the name.
Claria Clean. Awesome. All right, my granddaughter's Olivia, too, so that's even better. In fact, I hope you're listening, sweetie. Happy to be on shortly. All right. Joe, thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks a lot, gentlemen.
Pleasure to see you again.
Take care.
All right, you too. Let's move on. We got. Let me have you do this next.
Okay, Century Construction, Blake Moak and his wife Jillian are crushing it in Houston. They're Diamond Affiliate and Contracts and Connections members, and recently purchased a ServiceMaster franchise in San Antonio. Their entire company team is under the age of 40, so I guess I'm unemployable. These guys are taking the restoration business by storm. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You seem to value group associations. So does your firm obtain similar or different benefits from the participation in ServiceMaster, Diamond Affiliate, and Contractor Connections?
So I think we get both. We get differences from each one, but we also get a lot of similarities. And I really want to focus on the similarities because while they're all lead management sources or lead sources for us, I think the bigger similarity is they're all networks that we get to obtain great vendors from and peers, like in this room. Without Violand, we wouldn't be here today and meet all these wonderful people in this room. And I've learned most of my business through meeting these people. And that's the similarity that we get at all those groups.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think that most of the learning with associations, although it's great in the classroom, the ability to have a peer, to have someone that you don't compete with, that will tell you whatever you want to know. And openly share the secrets back and forth.
And you start to look at your competitor in a different light, that they're a peer, and that you can learn from. Even in your backyard, there's enough work to go around, especially with the weather and the way things are playing out these days. So you learn immensely from the guy that went before you.
Yeah, how far apart are the cities that you operate in?
3 hours by car.
All right.
Yeah. Now, I'm not sure I understand. What's a Diamond affiliate?
Well, Diamond is now a TPA, like contract.
Okay, it's third-party administrator.
Yes,
I see. All right. And then you've got Contractor Connections. I'm familiar with that one. And then you've got a Service Master franchise. Is that, I don't know, I've never heard of that before. How does that happen? I mean, is it something you could talk about? I don't even
We
know.
started independently 8 years ago, and built our business. And then about 4 years ago decided that if we can't beat them, we wanted to join them.
Okay.
So bought into Service Master.
I see. So now everything falls under the Service Master?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's what I thought. You kind of have to do it that way, don't you? I don't think they'll let
We
you
can
in.
still independently brand our original business, and that's what does our reconstruction. And then we brand the Service Master for mitigation.
And Century Construction is the original?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Blake, and you didn't have a background in this area, or your family, or anything like that?
I went from college to restoration. I know nothing else.
How the heck did you go from college? What got you in
Wanted to get dirty.
Wanted to get dirty, huh?
I wanted to get dirty, wanted to work on weekends, work on holidays, watch
My life.
That's right.
I had a friend of mine's dad that was in it and just needed a job, and away I went.
You got the job and then moved on and started your own thing. That's awesome. Where's Magnolia, Texas, by the way?
Houston.
Northeastern?
North of Houston.
North of Houston. Oh, you probably just got hammered, huh?
It's drying out a little bit.
It is. Okay. Well, Blake, thanks for joining us. It was a pleasure to meet you. It's been a pleasure meeting all this young group here. I'm feeling a little old today, though, Cliff. I don't know.
Well, I think the one thing that the person that really gets credit for the show is Jeff Jones. I thought it was a great idea. Really,
Jeff here at Violand has been such a big help in pulling this all together and getting this fine group of young folks here to join us. And I learned a lot from working with the younger crowd. And
it's good to see the enthusiasm, and to see the people. It's like Sean, folks. I knew his parents, and it's great.
I hope it's contagious. I feel a little more juiced up already.
All right, there you go.
Got that 4-hour drive home now, but I don't know about that. All right, well, hey, this is Radio Joe Hughes saying thanks so much to my co-host, the Z-Man, Cliff Zlotnick, back at the studio. John, you got to have faith. Great job, as always, John. Of course, our growing group of loyal listeners. Please come back next Friday at noon for the next episode of IAQ Radio.
This has been another IAQ Radio production.